we have a Tabaxi Rogue Artificer. Now, if you're not familiar with Tabaxi, they are essentially cat people created by a divine being from the upper planes, simply known as Cat Lord. It is a blend of humanoid and cat. Yeah. Their appearance can be very varied, so you can get ones that look a bit like tigers and jaguars and the big scary cats, or you can get ones that are a bit more like a house cat. They have a wide range of patterns in their fur, or they could be hairless. Yeah, but cat people, they have interesting traits. In addition to dark vision, they have cat's claws. You use your claws to make unarmed strikes. When you hit with them, the strike deals 1d6 plus your strength modifier slashing damage. Cat's talent, you have proficiency in perception and stealth skills. And feline agility, your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of your turn. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet in one of your turns. So you can't just use every single turn. With feline agility, you have to maybe have one in between where you don't move at all, but that can come in really, really handy. So a rogue is the sneakiest class in D&D. The official description has them as rogues rely on skill, stealth, and their foes' vulnerabilities to get the upper hand in any situation. They have a knack for finding the solution to just about any problem, demonstrating resourcefulness and versatility that is the cornerstone of any successful adventuring party. So this is a class that does really well both in and out of combat. With relation to combat, the official description again says, rogues prioritize cunning over brute strength. A rogue would rather make one precise strike, placing it exactly where the attack will hurt the target most, than wear an opponent down with a barrage of attacks. Rogues have an almost supernatural knack for avoiding danger, and a few learn magical tricks to supplement their other abilities. I think this is referencing things like sneak attack, and being able to avoid attacks because you're, I think they have a bonus action where they can hide at the end of their move. I'll have to look that up, but basically they're very, very clever and very, very sneaky. Now the subclass of rogues are called archetypes, so roguish archetypes, and in this case I have chosen the archetype assassin, which means this character, who we will call Mitzy, is particularly good at getting the drop on her enemies, particularly if she's trying to kill them. When you go into this subclass, you immediately get a trait called Assassinate. So starting at 3rd level, which is when you choose your subclass, you are at your deadliest when you get the drop on your enemies. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is counted as a critical hit, which means you roll the damage twice and then add any modifiers after that. There are also traits you get further along the line called Infiltration Expertise, Imposter, and at 17th level you get something called Death Strike. And I'll let you guys look that up on your own because we're also going to be looking at the multi-class of Artificer. Now, normally I draw Artificers as very kind of steampunk, techno. They're usually all about machines and robots in my mind, but there is a subclass of Artificer called Alchemist. So basically, if you're not familiar with artificers, they can do magic, but it's always tied to their tools. So they create things that are magical, and they create, if you're an alchemist, potions that are magical, and they do a lot of experimentation and have some hilarious results depending on how you play it. So let's have a look. In Alchemist, you obviously get Alchemist spells, a trait called Experimental Elixir, and Alchemical Savant, Restorative Regents, Chemical Mastery. You get a lot of cool stuff when you're playing as an alchemist, and yeah, I thought if you had a rogue who was an assassin and then multi-classed into an artificer class, you would probably be very interested in creating your own potions that have various effects, including usually if you mess up a potion, it's counted as like poisonous. So if you're trying to make poison and you maybe mess that up, it could become a healing potion by accident. I don't know. It could be played really fun, but I thought this one was really great, especially because one of the alchemist spells that you get straight away, well, at 3rd level, but straight away when you get to choose that subclass, is Ray of Sickness. So as you can see, I imagined this cat folk creature just casually adding poison to the tip of her weapons. And I really wanted to try and capture that look that cats give you when they're making direct eye contact with you, but also doing something really dickish. So like when they knock the glass off the table, but they do it very, very slowly while making eye contact with you. I was going for that kind of look. So let me know if I captured it in the face there. But that is what the race and class are, and now let's look into the skill abilities. So we have a +1 in strength, and so strength relates to measures of bodily power, athletic training, and the extent to which you can exert raw physical force. So if you're trying to climb something, or if you're trying to jump a really long distance, or if you're in really intense water and trying to swim, she's got a +1, so she's pretty good. She's probably done a little bit of athletics sort of stuff, getting spry to keep her stealth intact, really. Although of course stealth falls under the category of dex, which she also has a +1 to. So dexterity, it measures, unlike strength, it's more agility and your reflexes and your balance. So a very clumsy character would have very poor dex. This one does not. She is pretty good. It also covers things like sleight of hand and stealth. So really, if I was assigning my roles to certain ones instead of just taking them in the order that they roll, I would have assigned the highest into dex, because she's a rogue primarily, and then multi-classed into artificer, which is a separate thing. Yeah, now her constitution is +2, and constitution measures your health, your stamina, and vital force. So examples where you need a good stamina would be if you're holding your breath for a long time, or if you're going on really long walks, like marching through fields without any rest, going without sleep, surviving without food and water, and eating food, drinking, being able to drink a lot of alcohol, or quaff an entire stein of ale in one go. Is it stein or steam? Stein. I'm having a weird brain day, don't judge me. Now intelligence is a -1. So she's not so great with mental acuity, accuracy of recall, and the ability to reason. I can't say I don't relate to that. So I think it's possible that she might get turned around if she's in a big palace or something. She probably isn't the best at reading maps or remembering details of things that she's read, but she does have pretty good wisdom, which means I guess she kind of makes up for it, makes up for the poor intelligence by having excellent wisdom, because wisdom reflects how attuned you are to the world around you and represents perceptiveness and intuition. So you might be able to read body language very well. It's good for animal handling, insight, medicine, general perception, and survival checks. I guess she doesn't really need to have super high intelligence because her wisdom is so great. So if someone catches her sneaking around a castle because she's lost, she would be able to read them to know whether she can get away with telling certain lies about why she's there, or pretending to be a royal, or pretending to be, I don't know, a guard or something. She's good in that area. And now charisma is +2, so that also comes down to being able to charm people, and with her wisdom, being able to read people isn't the same as being able to use that wisdom to charm people. I don't know that she'd be particularly intimidating. I think that mostly she wants to go unseen. So when she is seen, she doesn't want to be seen as a threat, because then people tend to remember you and you stand out a little bit more. So I think she likes to do the kind of charm where people go, oh yeah, that's very nice, and then just forget that she exists. I think that's the kind of charisma that she usually will go for. Obviously she can be quite intimidating in a situation that she needs to be, but I don't think that those come up very often. Now for her background, I generally try to stay away from the cliches like, oh, their parents are dead and they grew up on the streets, but for this one, I think I'm going to say her parents are dead and she grew up on the streets. I'm picturing kind of a Artful Dodger situation, where she wasn't necessarily just like lying on the streets begging for scraps. I think she was much more the enterprising type who very quickly learned that you get a lot more picking pockets than asking for money. I don't think she's had any formal education either. I think probably the -2 intelligence was because she had to teach herself how to read and teach herself how to do math, so she didn't get swindled when she was trying to buy things that she couldn't steal. So she doesn't love reading, and she doesn't love math, and she doesn't love anything that's like that intelligent based stat, but she is very wise, and so she probably also quickly learned. Maybe she picked the wrong pocket one day, and instead of just reporting her to the authorities, they said, if you do this job for me, then I will pay you a lot more than you can steal in a day or even a week. And so that was kind of her door opening into taking jobs, which further down the line would lead to her becoming an assassin, because assassinations probably pay really, really well. And she's looking to get enough money that she never has to worry about being on the streets again. And if she has a family, which she probably isn't planning to have, but she also has in the back of her mind, like, no child of mine will ever be on the streets like I was, you know, that kind of vibe. In terms of joining an adventuring party, I think just a big heist, so very Ocean's 11, would be the reason that she would join a party. So it wouldn't be hard to get her to join up. What do we think of her? This is Mitzy, the Tabaxi rogue artificer. Now, if she were to attack you, you'd be dead before you know she exists. So she's not terribly scary unless you think of her more from the, like, stories of her. Anyway, the video's over. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, thank you very much. I'll see you next week and have a great one. Okay, bye.